Hey guys, it's Appleminte. Welcome back again to my channel. Yes, I know I'm in another new location, but it's not really that new. It's different. Kind of back in my art room. Anyway, as the title of today's video says, I'm going to be talking to you guys a bit about making your own art portfolio, some tips and tricks on what you should include and what to look out for, and I'm also going to give you a tutorial on how to create one using Wix, who were kind enough to sponsor today's video. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring. And if you guys remember, I've mentioned in the past that I personally already use Wix for my own art portfolio when I apply to conventions. So this is already a match made in heaven since I already use their product and I really like it. Of course, if you'd like to sign up, you can use my link below. So go check that out after the video. Anyway, let's just get right into it. So there's a few different ways we can go about creating this website. And some of those options include either A, having the website ask us some questions, and then after being asked some questions, it'll put together a website based on what we're looking for. Or B, we can also have a more creative approach and have access to all of the applications and everything off the bat and pick a template and go from there. I'm going to show you both for the purposes of this video. So we're going to start off with having Wix ask us some questions. So the first thing they ask is what we're looking for. And they give you a really good variety here. So I'm just going to say I want an Instagram feed and a blog, definitely. And then we're going to put in our website name and pick a theme. I personally like a really clean look on my website. And here they're going to give us some layouts based on what we said we liked. I think I'm going to go for the last one because I think it's closest to what I want in terms of how I want pictures laid out. So here we go. This is what they gave us to start with. Now we can customize all of these things ourselves. It doesn't have to be these pictures or this layout necessarily. We can move things around. But I'm going to start off by changing this top area here, banner, whatever you want to call it. I want it to be a little bit more my touch. So I'm going to go ahead and upload one of my drawings. Just a few here to have them uploaded, but for the purposes of the header there, I'm going to use my mushroom forest drawing you might remember me doing last year. Ooh, I like that. That's pretty. Okay, so I'm going to change some of this text here because obviously none of this is about me. So just going to write some things like welcome and a little bit of a blurb about me, since if somebody's visiting the page, I'm sure they're going to want to know a little bit about me. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to customize this art gallery because obviously none of this artwork and none of these photos are my own. So I'm going to add in 12 pictures for the sake of this page. Since there's 12 here, I think it'll just evenly measure out. But you can add as many or as little as you want, though I would recommend for an art portfolio not to clutter it up too much. Try to keep it to your best work. So your freshest, newest work, and take out some of your old stuff as you go. Keep it updated. But yeah, it looks like it's just gonna lay out like this. Another thing real quick is I wanna change the layout of the top header because it seems that there's a bunch of options here. And I really like the way that this one looks with the text overlaid on it. I'm gonna preview it real quick. Yes, that looks really good. Very clean. All right, so like I said, none of the rest of this is mine. So let's fix that. Let's add in a bunch more of my artwork and I'm gonna scatter them around, lay them out. This specific layout that I'm using is square, even sized images that it's gonna turn them into, but you can click on them to make them bigger and see the full size of the image. But, oh, well, I said I was going to put 12. I put 13, but you know, I can remove it. It looks like we can also change the ratio of each image. So I can make them a little more horizontal, taller, but I'm going to keep them square for now because I like that look. And I'm also going to change this section down here. I think I want to have a horizontal image and I don't want to have any text on it. I think I just want something eye-catching, a big drawing that I want to call people's attention to when they look at my portfolio. And down here, since we chose we wanted an Instagram feed, we now have the ability to connect our Instagram page and add in a feed of our posts that'll automatically update as we post more. So this is completely optional, but I think it makes for a cool touch, a more personalized touch on your portfolio to show up you're up to date and to keep up with your social media. And then of course at the bottom of the page you can change your contact information or anything in the footer that you might want to add. Obviously I don't really think I need a map or any of my personal information here, and this is all just stock information, but you can choose to put that in there if you want. And here is the finished portfolio page as created by them asking me some questions and me customizing it. So I think it came out pretty good actually. It looks really nice. But like I said, I also want to show you guys how to create one more from scratch with a little bit more of your own personal touch rather than them giving you more of a guided template. So for this next page that I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to just choose one of their little templates here, and then I'm going to go ahead, customize it, and add as much things in here as I want to. But I also want to spend this time as you watch me go through this, because the process is pretty similar in terms of changing the images around and the layouts of the images. I just want to take a bit of time to explain to you what are important things to include in your portfolio and how to make a portfolio that stands out among others. As you saw with the previous page we created, Wix can give you a really professional website, and that's something I really like about using Wix. It's very easy to change things and add things, as you'll see while I'm making this more customized page. So the web page looks really professional, and that is something that I'm going to mention is very important when you have a portfolio. Why have it look like just a website where just haphazardly scattered images, really cluttered, or walls of text? You don't want something that's really ugly. You want it to look very aesthetically pleasing, and aesthetic is huge in the art world. So if you don't have an aesthetically pleasing website or art portfolio, you're less likely to be either taken seriously or given a second look or a long look. A lot of people that are going to be reviewing your portfolio don't necessarily want to sit there and sift through things. They want to just have something that's easy to look at and something that's pleasing to the eye as well. And if it's more memorable, you're more likely to either receive a more positive grade or have a higher chance of getting accepted into something. Personally, I've always used Wix for my art portfolio. Whenever I apply to conventions, I submit my portfolio link to them. And a big no-no in the convention world is submitting an Instagram page, a Twitter page, your online store, such as an Etsy. They don't want to see any of that. And usually if you submit that, it's an automatic rejection. So don't even take that chance. Use a website like Wix to create a portfolio, because they just want to see your artwork laid out in a very simple manner and clean manner, and they want to see what exactly you want to show them. They don't want to have to sift through pictures of your cat or different listings on your store and figure out what you're trying to represent yourself as. So that's a big rule of thumb right there. I'd also like to say that simple design really does go a long way. You don't need to fill your page with a ton of different things or a ton of different colors, unless of course that's your branding, but you don't need to do that. Something that looks clean and easy to look at, something that's easy for the eye to follow, lots of eye-catching, high-quality images of your artwork laid out nicely. That's what's going to really present you in a very positive light. And like I said before, in the art world, we're all about aesthetic, we're all about art, so why would you want your representation of you and what you do to be messy and unfinished? You want it to look very clean and polished. Another thing that you should always do is add your social media to your portfolio page. This is super important because you should always give people the option to find you somewhere else. If you're not constantly pushing yourself or linking people to places that they can find you, you're really doing yourself a disservice. So after somebody's visited your portfolio page, they looked at everything that you have to offer and what you wanted to showcase, maybe they want to follow you on social media, maybe they want to continue following your work. Have your social media posted, have your online store posted, and it's also a very professional look as well. As you can see here, I am putting my social media down at the bottom of the page. They have a bunch of different styles for how the buttons can look. I'm gonna pick a very classic colored look for these. But yes, always, always, always add your social media somewhere on the page. And one more tip that I will say is to have an about section. This is something that you don't necessarily want to put on the front page of your portfolio. You really want that to be all about your artwork and just showing what you have to offer right off the bat. But you also want to give them the option to read more about you as well. So something that you can do here on Wix, of course, is since it's a website and you can use it for whatever you want, I'm using it for an art portfolio here, but it's a website, so you can add as many pages as you want to your website and link them all back to your homepage. So adding an about page and telling people a little bit about you and why they should care about you or what your passion is, and having a separate page for it really helps to keep the clutter off of your main homepage. As I said before, you have to make that all about your artwork and exactly what you want showcased. But it's also a nice touch to have an about you section somewhere on the page, and again, it also makes it look more professional. As you can see, it was really simple to create this other web page that I just created while I was chatting. And there's a bunch of different features that you can add. I am barely scratching the surface, but in terms of an art portfolio, I'm mostly trying to keep it very clean, adding just some of my favorite artworks and then a little section with a few videos, just so that when I apply to conventions, they can say, oh, she's also a YouTuber, and they can maybe take a look at my channel and see some of the things that I do that aren't just the artworks that I have. And again, it's keeping clean. It's just nicely presented, not too cluttered. And at the bottom of the page, I have my social media. So you don't have to lay out your page the way that I did. There's thousands of ways that you could go about doing this. But again, just keep some of the tips that I mentioned in mind, keeping it organized, simple, eye-catching, and again, professional is really important. Like I said, I've been using them for a few years now when I submit my applications to conventions. So I've had pretty good luck with it, and I think that you should definitely try it out if you haven't already and you're considering making an art portfolio for yourself. But anyway, I want to thank Wix again for sponsoring today's video. It really is just a perfect match, really, because like I said, I've been using them already. So the fact that they want to sponsor me and help me to share my message to you guys on how to create a really professional looking art portfolio is really great. So a big thank you to them. All of my links for signing up for Wix are in the description below, so please check that out. And I will also have the link to this little portfolio page that I created so you can take a better look at it rather than just seeing it on my own screen here. And as always, as well in the description, I also have all of my own links, the link to my online store, my Patreon pin club, my Kickstarter, everything is down there. So go check that out if you're interested. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all have a beautiful week, and I'll see you all next week, Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern time as always. Bye bye.